Hi, this is the second in a short series of videos showing how to create a Spring Boot web application and deploy it using Docker. In the last video we created a Spring Boot web app. In this video we're going to create a Docker image from it. There are 3 steps: adding the Gradle Docker plugin, creating a Dockerfile, and building the image. So let's add the Docker Gradle plugin to our Gradle build. This will make our lives a lot easier. So open up the build file. The first thing we need to do is go up to the build script and in the dependencies add an entry for the Gradle Docker plugin. Okay, and then we need to do it. So we need to apply that plugin. Apply plugin, and then it's called Docker. Now we need to add a group. This is not important at the moment, but it will help us later on when we are trying to deploy our Docker image to Docker Hub. Okay. Now we have to add a task to build the Docker image. So task build Docker, and the type of that is Docker from our Docker plugin, and it depends on build. Okay, right, at the moment I'm going to set push to false. This means it's not, our image won't automatically be pushed to Docker Hub. The application, set the application name to our jar base name. And then our Docker file. And we'll create this file in a minute, but it will be at source main Docker, and then it's called Dockerfile. And then, okay, do first, we want to copy our jar into the staging, stage dir. Okay, right, and that's that added into the build file. Okay, now we actually need to create the Docker file, which is the recipe for building the Docker container. So I'll put that, create a new file. Source main Docker, and then it's just called Dockerfile. Okay, no thank you. Right, a Dockerfile is going to be really simple. So we want to base our container on the base Java 8 image. That will be Open JDK 8. And then we add our jar Spring Boot Docker 0.0.1 snapshot .jar, and we'll just, when that's added, we'll just have it named app.jar. Okay, and then the entry point, that's the script to run when Docker starts, will be Java, and then the -jar parameter, and then our jar, which is app.jar. Okay, and that's our Docker file. Okay, so the Gradle Docker plugin has been added and a Docker file created. So now we should be in a position where I can build the Docker image. Now I've already got Docker running, so all I should need to do is type Gradle W and then build Docker, and away that goes. And there we go, my container has been created. Now I can check that my Docker image exists by doing Docker images, and there it is at the top. Okay, so now I can run my Docker image in a container. So if I do Docker run D, and then I want to map my port 8080, which is my Spring Boot app is running on, with the container's port 8080, and then code taming Spring Boot Docker, and that's running. Okay, and now just get the IP address of my Docker machine. There we go. Okay, there we go. And I can just copy that into a browser now on port 8080. And there we go. Hello world again. Video, we have created a Docker image and got it running on my local machine. In the next part, I'll deploy it and make it available to the world using DigitalOcean. Please join me if you have time. Thank you.